everybody, and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends all like to play D&D together, because apparently it's not fantasy and it's everybody's hot. This is an original D&D campaign set in the critical role world of Exandria, taking place 10 years after the events of CR1. While the council of tal'dorei, those are the aftermath of those events, the party have been on their own little adventure, causing problems literally wherever they go. Occasionally cleaning them up, occasionally not. Tensions are growing within the heartlands of tal'dorei, with a werewolf plague coming from the north, as well as an election within Imon, pretty much the capital of human civilization. I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight are the Spice Boys. First of all, let me introduce Clued as Barnes.
Hello.
Eski as Zug.
Hello.
Sai as Aku. Luke as Askor.
We keep it spicy.
Lauren as Lorian.
Hello.
And Erin as Hayden. Before we begin, do we have any announcements, Erin?
We posted a TikTok and it got no views, so please go like our TikTok and comment on it. Our TikTok channel is TikTok/D&D Boyband. Really easy to find. And we also posted a YouTube short. So if you follow us on YouTube, and if you browse YouTube on your phone, you can go to our channel and you can watch our shorts, and they will fill up your phone. They'll look very nice. They look like this. So,
oh, I didn't know that existed.
So go check that out. If you don't use TikTok, and watch our TikTok content on YouTube. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the update. That's what I've been up to this week.
It's so multi-platform. Oh, we're expanding into the world.
Back to you, Jane.
Thank you, Erin. So to get everyone up to speed, last week, bit of a therapy session, bit of some family counselling, a bit of PvP, as you've all spent a lot of time dealing with the events of the previous week, which had Aku and Hayden be resurrected. Hayden revealed that has secretly been working against you and part of the mafia for this whole time. Askel's family know about the doppelganger. Barnes has a complicated relationship with the betrayal gods, that's tal'dorei. Seeker Rodessa tal'dorei appeared and was curious about the night's events to Lorien, and you all kind of went to bed a little unsure. There was some sleeping in each other's rooms or some chilling out. Lorien and Barnes smoked weed and chatted late into the night. And Hayden and Aku resolved some of their differences. I think we'd done a bit of a skip to the morning, as everybody kind of took time to relax at Lorien's, chill out, work out what they wanted to say to each other, and you still haven't decided what the plan is moving forward. So...
Let's start with important things. We get long rest.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
And all of you wake up, varying stages of unhappy, nervous, guilty,
hungry,
apprehensive, hungry about the day's events. And yeah, I will leave it to all of you. What are your plans for the day? And who comes up first? Who's talking to who first? You pretty much have several things on your plate. Are you still traveling with Hayden? What are you going to do about the clasp, if anything? What are you going to do about the election, if anything? What are you going to do about Askel's family, if anything? And what are you going to do about Sylphrena, if anything?
Well, DM, when I'm sober enough, I would like to prestidigitate the smell of weed off my walls. And I would like to go to Askor's room. Is Zug staying in there? But yes, I would like to knock on that. Probably fairly early.
Okay. Zug, I think, is staying with Askor.
Yeah, guess so.
Okay, so you'll hear a knock on the door and hello, Askor, Zug.
Hello.
Zug, can I ask, what's Zug's status right now? Is he asleep? It's early, is he...
He tends to get up relatively early because, used to that. And generally he hunts for food. So how early are we talking? Otherwise he probably would have already got up and be in the pantry.
Well, Barnes doesn't sleep, so he'd probably just walk in the second he heard noise somewhere in the house. Man on a mission this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knock on the door. Walking in, I suppose. If someone asks Ascor and Zug, you hear a knock on your door.
You don't just see Ascor as you might expect him in bed or, whatever, taking breakfast or whatever. He's doing press ups. Ascor is there, shirtless, rippling, shirtless doing press ups. But you've never really seen him do this before.
This is a surprise. To be honest, I didn't think you were a workout before breakfast kind of guy.
You guys wait, and you hear him sort of whispering under his breath. Just like 63, 64, 65,
I don't believe
66.
you. No. Not possible. No way.
And sort of brings himself up and wipes and sniffs sweat on his face. Well, what is it you want?
Well, I was going to ask if you're alert, but clearly you are. You've got the dopamine pumping, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. Zug, are you good to sit and chat? You might as well hear this.
I mean, I had no other plans.
Great, we'll have a morning tete-a-tete. So, Ascor, I'm going to be real with you.
Wait, is this going to take a long time?
Probably, yes.
Is there any way we could have snacks?
We can get some snacks, sure.
Oh,
Do you want?
fantastic.
Shall I leave the snacks to you then? I don't
I
eat, so I'll make a poor decision.
I just thought, like, you were a wizard, you could just make them.
Oh, well...
You did that before that time?
With my fridge, yeah, but we gave that to
Oh,
Nancy
yeah. Oh, what a mistake.
Well, you could ask Lorian for some steak, but you might be getting frog steak. Or would you get frog steak? I don't know what sort of steak he'd give you.
We'd
but
probably
it might
get
not be the
wall
kind you
mushrooms
want.
again. And they were
Mushroom
okay.
steak, correct. Right,
Anyway.
well, so, Ascor von Galverdane. I've been having to think about your situation, the predicament you find yourself in, and the betrayal of your
That's
family
fantastic,
and your friends.
Barnes. You're here to betray me as well. He throws a towel over his shoulder and just goes and have a drink of lots of water.
I was thinking I would do that after breakfast, actually. I was going to help you first and then stab you in the back later.
At least you have class.
First, I'm going to help you. So, right. You've had it quite hard, what with your family's thorough betrayal. You've been on this journey, like life and death, only to have your brother send assassins after you, to come back and to find your family, your acquaintances, knowing that you'd been replaced with a doppelganger, and for them to not care, and for your father to be running for office so successfully. Do you know, Ascor, I was thinking in the small hours of the morning, why should Heinrich von Galverdane win an election? Why him? Why not you, Ascor? Why not Ascor von Galverdane, Master of Commerce, sit on the Council of Tal'dorei? Just think about it for a second. Let it soak in. Just have a think. But
And
what
Ascor
better
takes a
way?
deep breath and he looks at the ceiling and goes, sorry, yeah, do you want to finish as he's doing that?
Yeah, kind of while he stares at the ceiling, Bonds is going to lean forward and just sort of say, what better way to stick it to your father for everything he's put you through than to take what he's worked so very hard for from him, right from under his nose? He's actually set you up for success quite beautifully, hasn't he? And he kind of bats his eyelashes, leans back, folds his arms, and sort of like looks up at Zug like a double thumbs up, like, yeah.
And Ascor, it's like he's almost fast forwarded in his mind, or like he's just answered, and it's a little bit off. You didn't quite expect this answer. He just goes, taking a sip of the water, like, what if I get assassinated? What if I get stabbed in the back? What if I find out my family is conspiring against me? What if I find out my friends conspiring against me?
Sounds like all of these things have already happened, and you're sat here with a
Exactly.
towel over your shoulder. No problem, right? You've survived it.
Your family is very confusing.
It is quite. And at this, Bonds is going to lean forward and pat Ascor on the shoulder. And this might be the first time he's ever touched Ascor, like...
Did you touch Ascor? You feel
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He's sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been doing push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the DM may be best positioned to access the D6 table, since I had a hard drive malfunction. But I will have a go to see if I still have access to that.
Don't know when I have it. I do not think I have it. I might do.
Okay.
It was
Oh.
Google Sheets, right, or Google Docs?
It'd be docs.
Google Docs. Just gonna open it up with add-ops so everybody can see it
Nice.
With what, Jamie?
with add-ops.
Did
With
you not get
advert
the email?
operations?
Am I gonna have to edit this part of the VOD out?
No.
No, you can just ransom us instead. It's fine.
Excellent.
No, I
Please
don't
don't.
seem to have it.
Well, so there's some
Please
kind of
do.
Neither
psionic
do I.
effect that happens, right?
Yeah, so from the ones I remember, in fact, let me. Yeah, 1 second. So what you'll experience is probably, you'll feel the hairs on your arms stand up, on the back of your neck stand up, and you maybe even notice if you have a follicle, it may raise and lift, and you'll get a slight sense of vertigo as well once you touch him.
And if pauses, draws back and says, and there's also the matter of your brother, which actually is quite similar to you, so I'm thinking maybe it runs in the family. But let's stick with this one first. Do you want to rule the commerce in the
Well,
city?
hold on, Barnes, are you coming on to me now?
I mean, do you want me to?
Not everything is an invitation to be analyzed.
How would that make you feel, Ascot?
Extremely violated.
All right, then I'm not coming on to you. I was going to say, you've risen above every challenge that's been thrown at you so far. So how hard could this be?
Well, I suppose it just seems like everything is so corrupt. My family and I don't even know who to trust in this group anymore. I've known Hayden longer than I've known you. We've done more together, and yet, what's happened has happened. It just seems like everywhere there's some kind of everything I touch, or everything around me at least, there's some kind of corruption.
I was thinking about this as well. Because you've had it shit from assassins that your friend helped to facilitate. There's no getting around that. And you were talking about an eye for an eye and taking Hayden's pound of whatever. If you still feel that way once you've become Master of Commerce, then sure, exact revenge then. But until then, you're with an extremely useful group of people. So use us. You don't need to like us. You just need to use us for what we can do for you. And I think what we can do for you is stick it to Heinrich and Sylphraner at the same time. I've got a plan, actually. I thought about this while I was high, and it just kept getting better and better.
Is this a cult? I'm just saying that because this wouldn't be the first time. It just sounds similar to other situations I've been in, and they turned out to be cult of the betrayer gods.
Oh, look, this isn't a cult. This is
Oh,
democracy.
good. Oh, okay, sorry. No, I was just checking because it sounded like we were being recruited into some greater thing. I didn't want it to happen again.
The only great thing that we're being recruited into is the service of Ascor von Galverdane, Master of Commerce.
Ah, well, you're not a betrayer god, so I guess that's
I'm not.
good. No, not you.
Definitely
I meant
not
him.
one of them. Oh, he's not. No, he's not either.
But you're not either, right?
No,
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not really. Not exactly.
Okay.
So, Ascor, how are you feeling about the concept of power and taking it from your dad?
well, it sounds like I've just painted a picture of how corrupt the world is to me. How corrupt the world is, and you've just told me there's a way we can stamp it out. We can make the world good again. We can expunge my twisted family from the planet.
Remake it in your image?
You're serious?
Sure, why not? We can do whatever we like. If we can destroy the Wand of Urcus, we can put somebody in a political seat. Come on. Of course we can. Right.
Well, as time's gone on.
Wait, are we starting a business?
Sure.
Oh.
But
does it have a union? I need to ask that. I've been told I need to ask that each time.
Ascor, does it have unions? Will you let them unionize?
No, it has millions of gold of debt, however.
Oh.
That's how it's different from a business.
Right. So, I think we have a few tools that we can monopolise to our advantage here. And I think we should get the whole gang in on this, because I think they'll have a lot of input. But broadly, my plan is as follows, Ascor.
Slow down. You really are serious, aren't you?
Absolutely. What did you think I was joking?
It's
I don't
hard to
joke.
tell with you.
I'm a serious person entirely.
I don't mean to make fun of your accent, but sometimes I think I mishear things.
That's understandable. It's quite archaic, I know. I struggle with yours sometimes.
Well, it's quite refined.
I'm sure
Hold on,
it
is this something that I should or shouldn't talk about with other people?
Right, we're going to tell the group, the Spice Boys, sorry, immediately. I'm sort of warming to the idea of the Nice Boys. Anyway, immediately them, nobody else, not yet, because Ascor, the time is not quite now, because first we have to supplant Heinrich somehow, correct? We have to kill him, we have to kidnap him, we have to discredit him, exile him, somehow get rid of him, right? We have your creepy older brother, who, by the way, when I touched him, I felt like I was falling through the fathomless depths, which is something that happened when I just touched you. Did you know about that? That he's a bit spooky. We have to deal with him. He's suspicious as
Wait,
all hell.
what exactly did you feel when you touched him and he sort of steps towards you quite seriously? What do you mean?
It was like there was an otherworldly presence watching, sort of him and me, like we stood in a black sea of rippling waves, with maybe the red luminance of many eyes around me. And we were just stood in a dining room, but all I did was shake his hand. But
Are you certain?
100%. I thought it was quite, yeah, well, I certainly hadn't had anything to drink because, you know, I can't.
Wait, so he's a betrayer god?
Maybe.
Oh.
Well, look, I spoke to not my father, but his associate, and it seems clear to me that there's some conspiracy afoot. You know, I may have mentioned it before, but this idea of replacing me with some kind of secondary ditto duplicating creature or person or magic. Either way, it just does not seem like that's what my family would do, my father. And my brothers always followed happily, proudly in my father's footsteps. It doesn't seem right.
I wonder. It was Siegfried who sent assassins after you, not your father, right?
It's true.
So maybe he's worried that you have the same affliction as him with the weird presences and what have you. You're the only person who could reveal it to your father.
Well, I assumed I, contracted whatever it was and came in contact with you-know-what underground. And that was all the way in Fraghammer, Ordem Valak, I forget, but it was down there somewhere.
Siegfried was telling me about his mining expeditions. And apparently his obsession with the underground started a few months ago, on his first expedition down there. So corroborated by his friend, so...
Wait, you're serious?
A few months ago. Similar time to you, perhaps?
You're not fucking with me, are you?
No. Like I said, I'm always really deadly serious. But anyway, we have Heinrich and we have Siegfried to deal with. Do you know how we're going to do this? Silfrena,
No.
the bitch who tried to bomb the rally that Heinrich and Siegfried were at. We killed him. We frame it on Silfrena. We also indict her for the calamity she tried to cause in the square, because we will find the evidence for it when we trace the airship back to wherever it landed and find some evidence in her office when we go there later today. And then we'll kill both of them with one stone. Heinrich will be dead, and the sad, bereaved Ascor von Galverdane will step into his father's shoes and say, I'm so sorry, Amon, for the loss of my father. I will do my best to follow in his footsteps and rise to the office he created. Only
Wait.
I could do this. I will serve you, Amon, forever. And then everyone will cry, you'll get their sympathy vote, and congratulations, you've won the election. Done. Easy.
How do you know all of this is going to happen?
I've seen it, Zug.
Wow. You mages really are powerful.
Right, yep. Prophecy. Prophesized. Done. Good.
I'm
Anyway.
so glad I'm not in this conversation right now.
What do you think?
I think you've thought so much about this.
Yes,
it's gonna
definitely.
take me a minute.
I might need it in writing. I don't remember everything that was said.
No writing. If any words, even the, and, or get out of this room, after that, we're finished.
And now we're bonded together in conspiracy.
Wait, what?
The
You
three
said
of
this
us,
wasn't a cult.
forever as one. And Bonds is just gonna kind of stand and be like, and I'll see you two at breakfast. Bye. And sort of like slide out the room with a self-satisfied kind of like, yeah.
Askel's gonna pick up a towel and dry his face for a moment and turn to Zug and be like, it's like drugs powers this guy.
He was on drugs?
Blue, did Bond say he'd been smoking weed?
In the earlier hours of the morning, yes.
What is this weed you speak of?
So it's not
sorry.
weed. It's
Allure?
got a
Is
different
it
name.
allure root?
Yeah, Allure is the
Allure root.
D&D version.
I'm going to be honest, Askel, I didn't understand most of the stuff he just said. It was a lot of words.
I'll be fair, it was too much. If
It
he
was,
had a plan, he would have, come on slowly. But that was quite a lot.
Yeah, so it's a business?
Makes sense, a lot of it. Yeah, it's not a business, but it is business. By the way, I'm deadly serious, Zug. This is something we can't discuss.
I think I would struggle to.
Having discussed it.
Okay. I don't think I could discuss it anyway.
I'd hope so. It's serious stuff.
I'm aware. I just don't really I'm very confused. It was a lot of words, and a plan, and a business, and something underground. And someone's a betrayer god.
Yeah. Let's for now forget the underground part. Let's remember the business part. And
Okay.
let's remember the lucrative part. And the part where we spoke about
A lucrative
supply chains.
We're starting a mine?
No, not underground. Don't you remember, Zog? We spoke about the supply chains and the business and the...
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. We are not starting a mine.
That's right. Supply chains.
Bring that one time up. Not starting a mine. Got it. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Okay, but Zog, forget that part. Supply chains. Say it after me. Supply
chains.
Supply chains.
Supply chains. Business.
That's what
He kind of walks out the room
talking
muttering
about.
to himself. Business, supply chains, business, supply chains, business, supply chains.
And Askel heads off to bathe for the morning.
All right. So as Barnes is retreating to breakfast, Lorien, I presume Barnes would have got up from. Were you two both in the same room meditating? Barnes didn't
Lorien
sleep, I
head off
suppose.
at some point, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably in the front of his shop now, like because it's morning, so he'll be open. Probably like sat on a stool with his ankles on the counter, just eating cereal out of a bowl.
Okay. Barnes, that would be the vision you appear to. However, Hayden and Aku, you will both wake up if you remember Hayden's dream at the end of last session. I think we dealt with that a tiny bit, but not necessarily the reaction in the morning after, right?
We had chats.
We had chats.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You
Mhm.
did. Fine. In which case, you'll both wake up the morning after. Is there anything you two would say to each other before you join the rest for breakfast? What is this awkward silence?
That's probably what happens when they wake up next to each other in the morning,
I'm
right?
staring into each other's eyes like.
Just that.
Is there anything you'd like to share with the group?
Well, Akko is probably also not someone to say many words before his morning hot brown potion, I guess.
Coffee exists in this
so-
world.
Okay, coffee. Oh, thanks, Tiam.
Off-brand potion.
I thought hot
I-
brand
that was
potion was like a
his-
euphemism for a shit.
I thought that was Aku's nickname all of a sudden.
Yeah. So he's probably gonna grunt towards Hayden and walk down to breakfast without saying too much, unless Hayden looks like he wants to chat.
Hayden, upon waking up and walking down, your hand still ever so slightly warm.
Yeah, I guess Hayden will take a couple minutes to get ready, and there's a mirror in the room. He'll probably have a look at that and
Yep.
kind of pull at the eye that's now all like scarred over and missing, and he kind of feel it out and kind of sigh a bit and finish getting dressed, and he'll head downstairs.
Looking at the eye, there's a very, very small kind of indent in the center that appeared red for a single second. As you kind of look a bit closer, it changes back to gold. Like you see it like spread throughout.
That's creepy. He will pull a glove on to cover the eye, and head downstairs.
Okay. The rest, yeah, all of you arrive. I'll say Barnes is probably first to arrive to see Lorien.
He's playing a jaunty breakfast tune on his dulcimer. Particularly jaunty, in fact. Inappropriately so, given the misery of yesterday. He's probably whistling along as well. Kind of greet everyone with a, "Good morning, everyone. You look great today. Look really well rested."
Thanks. Morning, Barnes. Chipper?
I am. I had a great night.
What did you get up to?
Well,
down.
I smoked with Lorien.
Did you now?
I did. I had a great time. What are you having for breakfast?
He'll look over to Lorien.
Minute.
Lorian's just eating his cereal. There's like probably like a Hessian sack with like a little scoop in it that's probably got some sort of crispy wheat flakes inside, which I assume exists in D&D because they have wheat and they have facilities to be able to cook
some dry
that.
grains.
Some dry grains. And there's like a jug of milk, and also there's a couple of grunguses who are also just eating out of little bowls of cereal as well.
Oh,
Like a couple of grunts.
Oh my god.
Grungus.
The whole gang's just like having breakfast together.
Oh,
Grungus
gang
eating
of
Special
Grungus.
K.
Yeah.
He'll probably lean in slightly to Hayden and be like, "So, how are you doing, Doe?"
Well, I feel like shit,
Right.
but I'm alive, so I guess.
Hayden probably obviously looks like he had a fairly bad night's sleep and is also still suffering from -3 on all rolls.
Right. Yeah, he's got kind of like dark bags under his eyes, or his eye. I guess it'd be both, although the other one isn't there. Yeah. I mean, what can you do?
Did you sleep at all?
A bit. Didn't sleep great, but
Hayden, yesterday I feel quite bad about calling you incompetent and what have that. Really,
Oh.
what I wanted to impress there is if you try and handle stuff by yourself, you get put in situations where you're not going to make good decisions. But if you lean on the people around you, and those sound so crunchy. What the heck are they? Never seen stuff like that. Sort of like popcorn, but not. Anyway, lean on the people around you, buddy. Offload on us. We'll help.
I mean, you're not the first person that's called me incompetent, so honestly, I'm kind of used to it by now. But
I do feel bad for it, though.
Damn, self-burn.
Yeah, it's cool. We're cool, Barnes.
It's not true. Like, it's not. You're really quite talented.
I don't.
You're a terrible liar, sir.
No, have you seen how good this boy stabs? He's a real good stabber. And he shoots stuff really well, too.
I just get lucky with the bow. That's like the only thing I've got going for me. Like,
You destroyed the wand of Orcus after bearing it across the world
I'd have
for
like
months.
a nice, like, cushy job with like a house and like a family if I was like good at stuff.
What is it about deflecting praise and you people just take it? You're great. Well done.
You never
Like
praise
walks
me.
into the room going,
Larian, you're the best as well.
supply chains, business, supply
Thanks,
chains,
sir.
business, business, supply chains.
Zug had a business
Ah,
course this
breakfast.
morning. Brilliant.
Business chains, supply breakfast.
Supply
Breakfast
business,
chain.
breakfast.
I'll take your advice though, Barnes. Thanks.
Just ask us next time if you're not sure.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't really have much else to hide. I've got one new thing, but I guess we'll talk about it when everyone's here.
It'd make you feel
I don't have
better.
anything to hide either, if it helps.
I've
You're
got
not
a
a virgin
giant.
anymore.
Oh,
I never.
is that what was going on earlier?
No. I had a threesome at the brothel.
No, I thought you meant. Listen, guys, I have a giant thing to hide, and you're about to be appalled at me and my
He glances
behaviour.
down at Barnes's crotch.
Well, I mean, it's not bad, but no, you'll hate me in about an hour's time, but I don't mind. It'll be fine.
Ribbit.
Okay, well,
Can I have
Enjoy
some
your
of that
breakfast.
cereal stuff? It looks crunchy.
Help yourself.
Oh,
I'm not an inn, so I ain't gonna serve you.
oh, fantastic. That's okay. It's always awkward when they do anyway. They never give you enough. He helps himself to whatever the hell you're eating.
It's probably Rice Krispies, maybe.
It's just
Aku
Amazing.
is sat at the table, not looking awake. His hair is stuck up in all different directions. His eyes are barely open, and he's holding a bowl of cereal with no milk in it, just eating it dry.
What a
You're
fucking
ju-
psychopath.
Yeah, damn. You're just built different, ain't that true?
No, that's how I eat my cereal, though, guys. No joke.
Constructed unconventionally.
Ribbit. Throughout all of this, I will occasionally drop in, but you guys can be fairly sure that there is the ever-present slight groaning of Grunky's ears. And
There's
that fact
probably
is
loads of like various like woodland animal noises from in here, and like a far off waterfall sound for some reason.
all the above.
Oh, this is a quaint little place.
so is
Thank you very
everyone
much.
down at breakfast now? Or are we still missing Asgore?
Ascor probably arrives. Probably a bit of a standoff when he looks in, matches eyes with Hayden.
How is
Ribbit.
Luke? How is Asgore's entrance?
Very nonchalant. Picks a piece of toast, chomps in it. He's only just pulling a loose white shirt on as he comes in.
Morning.
Hey.
What's up?
Doesn't say anything.
Cool. Hayden will start eating some cereal too.
So we've got a meeting with Sylphrena today. Who's looking forward to that? I am.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I'm kind of dead, so should I go?
We can put a hat on you, can't we?
I guess. Looks at Zug. Can I borrow your hat?
Sure. I think you have to attune to it.
Yeah, I can do that.
I meant that as out of character thing.
Oh.
He doesn't know that.
Zug has no idea what a tuning is.
Yeah, he just gives you the hat. He's like, it's in
Cool.
there somewhere.
Oh.
Maybe it's just his bag. This kind of like crumpled, squashed wizard hat he takes out. So
He'll
might
use.
need to, I don't know, kind of fluff it out a bit. Gets a bit squished in the bag.
I'll use the next hour while we're having breakfast to attune to the hat of disguise.
Okay, absolutely. You can sit kind of vaguely focusing on the hat until it clicks in. Make sure you're not out of attunement slots.
Do I get any customers in this time?
I would say the majority of your business does not happen during the day or the early morning. No.
If this breakfast is quiet and awkward, at some point Barnes just kind of watching the meat will think, look up, look to the side and say, So I had lunch with Asmodeus yesterday.
Who now?
The betrayer god from the Nine Hells. He
What?
asked me for brunch, actually.
But
But
kind of
you-
spits out his cereal a little bit.
How
Wait!
long was I out for? I thought you guys were with me all day.
Well, it was actually in the thing with the flower. Lost control of my body for a short while and woke up in a extra dimensional space with a evil god, which was cool.
What?
He kind of leans on one elbow. You said there were no betrayer gods involved.
I said that I personally was not a betrayer god. In fact, I answered with not really.
Oh, damn it. That always gets me.
But, well, the good news is that I didn't really want to be there, and she seemed quite disappointed in me. And it's a good job that I have Aspen Chloras in my back pocket to tell me why Asmodeus was hanging out with me, but I just thought I'd tell you in the spirit of transparency and not stabbing anyone in the back.
So why...
Sorry.
why were you talking to...
I'm not really sure, to be honest. He told me to sort myself out and that I was a disappointment, which that score might be familiar with in the sense that powerful male figures in our life like to tell us that we're disappointing to them. But
Sounds like you're dressing down by Asmodeus is what led to you unloading all that on Hayden last night, actually.
perhaps,
A
yeah,
little
maybe
deflection there.
maybe I was the one projecting, which is rare because I'm pretty in control of my feelings. But I suppose a betrayer god is a pretty big deal.
So help me understand. You've just sent a messenger pigeon to talk to the betrayer god.
More that he sent a pigeon to me. But, well, he told me to get his eyes back. I don't really know what he means by that. Guys, I have no recollection of a time in my life where I did anything but terrorize the archmages. I don't remember Asmodeus. I died before the calamity as far as I'm concerned, so this is all a little confusing to me. Both from a logistical standpoint and also from a personal one, because I'm not particularly so inclined as to be hanging out with Asmodeus.
Oh,
I'm a medical professional, you know.
hold on. Did he say get his eyes back or give his eyes back?
Get him.
Okay.
Straight up go and get him.
Because didn't Vespin say something about your eyes and like you've got those like stitch marks? So like
It's all a little suspicious, isn't it?
and now I've lost an eye and I've got an eye here. So like
Oh shit.
Oh,
party's all about the eyes.
that's
All about the right.
But
That's
I don't
gnarly.
think my eyes have got anything to do with your eyes. I really hope they don't.
No,
I've had
I
enough
really
of
hope.
creepy gods for one
Right.
lifetime.
But anyway, just thought I'd let you know. I meant to tell you yesterday, but we went shopping for outfits, and then we went to a party, and then you died, so...
Yeah,
Do
that
you
was a
think
pretty
it's
busy
possible
day.
that you were in some kind of pre-calamity arcane fugue state where you took out your own eyes so you didn't have to see him anymore?
Maybe. Maybe I got so bored of watching documentaries of Vespin Chloras that I just took him straight out with a spoon. Who knows?
Wait, so
Watching what?
Documentaries. Non-fiction programs. Cinematics.
Programs like a training.
Oh, you don't have them. They're like moving pictures.
moving
We have
pictures.
those.
Like pantomimes, but recorded. That won't help you. Anyway, so that's my deep, dark secret. I really need to sort Aspen out so I can find out what the fuck is going on.
hold on. So you just hold up a second. A betrayer god?
Quite a lot, isn't it?
Are you sure he was actually Asmodeus and not like someone else saying?
I might have gotten pranked, to be fair. It could have been an elaborate schmooze. But I suppose when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I'm a therapist. Why can I summon ruby rapiers and shoot out red lightning and summon devils and shit? It's actually quite cohesive.
That's what I would call kind of sus.
Kinda sus. Right, that one. Yes. Exactly that.
I mean, we can all do kind of crazy stuff, so maybe I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe just because you're a therapist doesn't mean you can't have a cool sword and stuff.
I lived in a time of absolute peace and prosperity and harmony.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, it's
The
pretty
calamity
weird.
was absolutely the most peaceful thing that ever happened in the history of people living on this plane.
Yeah, I died before that.
Do we know how Barnes does he define himself as a bard?
He defines himself as a motivator and a therapist.
Okay.
A medical professional, in fact.
I don't know, like, I guess it's a question to all of us. To the world itself, would we see that as like, you know, would it be normal, like, hey, you know, you're a that. That's why you cast magic, right?
I think the types of place you get your magic from. So it's understood you kind of have, you know, nature magic or arcane magic or magic from the gods. Warlocks aren't like a thing, like you've made a pact, but like, yeah, where you get your magic from is more well known. So, you know, forget which god you get it from. Have you got it through arcane study or is it from nature? Which is kind of from the god as well. Yeah.
But in that case, the party doesn't perceive you as a bard. Then with this on top, this is all perceived as your power from as a warlock, right?
Well, he's also vaguely mentioned in the past having like studied shit back
Most
in
of you,
school,
okay.
Back in college. You get the sense that it might also have been quite different in the Age of Arcana. Magic was just pretty casual, so
probably I think it's arcane, yeah, or at least up until now you've thought Barnes' power is arcane.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise us that you have a few tricks up your sleeve. You are from then.
yeah, it's the nature of it, I guess. But, well, basically, bottom line is, guys, I'm trying to stay calm about it. Because I think if I really let myself go with the whole betrayer god expecting things of me, that gets pretty stressful. So I'm just going to sit on it and sort of ride it out and maybe buy myself some time, figure shit out with Vaspin. Maybe he can say something helpful. Maybe it's all lost and I'll just be adopted by a betrayer god and forced into servitude. I'm not sure. I'm trying to take it one day at a time, really, but just thought I should tell you.
Well, we appreciate your honesty. There's a lot of that going around right now, and he sort of looks to Hayden, not piercingly, but just sort of, not even knowingly, but just looks in his direction, like, that's a thing that's happened, this is a thing that's happened. Sure. Should we be worried about you? About what you might do to us?
I don't think so. I mean, I like all of you guys, right? And I have no personal intention to go hang out with devils and shit. It's just not my speed. Really not a devil sort of guy. Which is why I'm very confused, because what on earth happened such that I would have ended up in that space? Makes no sense.
Esky
And you have
breathing.
any intention to... Sorry, go ahead.
Right, Esky, Darth Vader breathing moment.
Oh, shit.
He was really into that bit of roleplay.
Really going in for
Oh, yes. Loving some betrayer gods.
Love me some betrayer
Where's the
gods.
rebel base? And so do you have any intention to fulfill the desires of this fucking thing, this creature, this whatever, power?
I thought I would just tell a bold-faced lie to him and get him off my back for a little while I figure shit out with Vaspin. That seems like my play.
That's a bold move.
Lorian just sort of shrugs.
You want my opinion?
Yes.
Oh, well, how kind of you to ask. My opinion is that sounds kind of dangerous, but could be kind of dope. You should see what he wants and if there's anything he's willing to trade for it. Well, you know he wants your eyes, or his eyes, so what's he gonna give you to get them?
Got a good point.
It's more like, what will he take if I don't give them to him, you know?
Well, he's all locked up behind Divine Gate. What's he gonna do?
Right, that divine gate that we
Serve you.
collectively weakened, like last week. Oh, that's another thing that we did, Larian. Right, we did that as well.
Uh-huh. Y'all are quite the bunch, huh? Well, it's been a real fun time on this here material plane. It's he's just started to put in frogs in a little bag and up from a table. It's been nice knowing y'all, and oh, the bag of frogs is just. I'll be seeing y'all later.
Wait, but I have another one for you, Lorian.
Hold on.
Ask her, go on, confess.
Put your scrungles down and let's ask Aku. Aku.
Man of many words.
Well, if you've got him, Aku, let's hear him.
Aku is staring at Ascor, almost with an impression like, you have the audacity to speak to me this morning.
School's just gonna be like beckoning.
Beckoning?
Beckoning to speak.
He's just staring at Ascor. He's not saying anything else.
I appreciate everything you feel about me. But do you really not have an opinion on this? And he just turns and points to Barnes.
He kind of slowly draws his eyes away from Ascor towards Barnes. And you'll kind of hear, well, I don't imagine bargaining with this, his eyes flick up, creature would be beneficial for anyone. But I think that that's common sense. You don't need my opinion on it.
Not gonna stab me or anything. We're good, no stabbings.
I never said that.
Oh, true. I'll watch my back then. He just kind of lofts it off. He kind of wheels around to Lorian and is like, now before you go, actually, there's one more person that you should meet before you make up your mind. I'd like to introduce to all of you the future Master of Commerce, Mr. Ascor von Galverdane.
Oh, thank God.
And
I thought you
Ascor.
had invited Henrik von Galverdane into my shop.
No,
And
no.
Ascor, like, he kind of balks, almost goes, gee, by the dragon. And he goes, you know, he just puts down the nectarine or whatever and just goes, you're going to lead with that.
I am.
I thought this was crazy. You've barely convinced me. And you've walked into the room. Drop this. What's the word? What's it called? No. But what's the D&D? What would you say in the D&D world? This
Fireball.
No, fireball. I like it. Yeah. You dropped this fireball about your affiliation with the darkest of powers, and then you mention this.
Sure. What better time than
Barnes.
breakfast?
Barnes. Stay focused.
I'm super focused. I'm just going down the bucket list. We're ticking things off this morning. And I don't need to convince you. It's a brilliant plan. Guys, he's going to be on the tal'dorei Council. We're going to shit on Heinrich, and we're going to oust Sylphrena from her attempt to bomb the rally, all in one move. It's going to be great.
And none of it is underground.
None of it is underground, right?
Mm.
And y'all have just assumed that I would. He sort of like grabs the Grungus bag and quickly puts it under the counter and like sort of like ducks behind the counter for a second. And like as he ducks behind, you will probably see him crawl on his hands and knees through the little door at the back.
The rest of you hear-
Lorian, you're going to be paying your taxes to him soon. You need to get to know him. Get his
the
good
rest
books.
you hear from kind of the front of the shop, there's like a little like rap of wood, and like a tiny little bell goes as somebody clearly enters Lorian's shop. Lorian, on your side, as you kind of crawl through the hole and back up behind the counter, you see the slightly, it's obviously slightly stressed, sweat pouring kind of from his bald head, long flowy robes of the headmaster of the Alabaster Lyceum, who kind of walks in and looks behind the door, and you see him kind of like look behind and kind of like look through the glass in your door, just seemingly checking to make sure he hasn't been followed, and then turns around and Lorian?
Lorian now stood upright, comes through the back, looking less probably disheveled and less like hungover than he did when you just saw him lying on this counter eating cereal. Good morning, headmaster. How nice of you to join us here this morning. Got a busy shop today, lots of people here potentially coming to pick up things. I mean, y'all have been looking at my wares, ain't that right?
So to clarify, are people in they're not in the main shop room, so the group is somewhere else, or can he see them when
right,
he walks
I
in?
assumed that they would just be like in the main part of the shop since
If they're in the main part of the shop, that's fine. You all are there, like sitting down, and this man has just walked in, like completely ignored you, and said, just looked for Lorian, and then seems to notice you. Goes, "Oh, it's you. Oh, do you customers?"
We're sampling his cereal. Yeah.
I will not inquire what events last night led to you all waking up here, but I say, Lorian. Anyway, good. Is there any way we could talk in private a little bit?
Do y'all mind shifting out the back so the headmaster and I can have a private word, conduct our business? I'm sure you need to get ready to move on with the rest of your day.
Sure, no problem.
Are you shifting out the back or to a different room, or are you leaving the shop?
I guess
I'm-
up to the rooms we were in,
Yeah.
I'm
right?
asking them to go.
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like wakes around. Do you all move, or are you sitting there?
Go back up to the rooms we were in the night, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like looks inquisitively at Ascor.
Fuck. Knew it. Would we have been in the front of the shop? Like, I feel like we
You guys,
wouldn't.
okay?
I
You
feel like
guys
we're
can
lying
be.
low.
You guys can be out the back then. Let's say we were just like in the.
This
back
is
of the
making it
shop.
slightly easier.
We had
And-
three very, very, very questionable people here that
That's
should
true.
not be seen by
Yeah.
other people.
I'll say like he
And is
sees
the
a couple
open
of
sign
figures.
even out front, or is it currently closed? Like,
It's
what's going
closed,
on?
but it didn't matter to
the
him.
second we heard a knock, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
fine. You guys, you can see like Terry out, and you kind of like have the conversation, but clearly like people have left. Where he's like more people back there. Anyway, Lorian, I want to show you something. That's
Oh,
what
is
we
this
talked
in
about last night.
reference to our conversation yesterday?
Yes. Be delicate with this. I don't want to drop it. And you'll see he brings out like a small kind of little nugget of amber. Not particularly smooth, got a lot of crinkles on it. And inside you can see curled up many times is some kind of circular or like tube-shaped object that looks like something a creature wound very tightly.
Mhm.
Do
How
you know what
fascinating.
this is?
Do I know what this is, dear?
Make a nature check.
Nature. I, as a man of nature, only have a +1 in nature. That's hilarious. Nature man, natural 20.
Oh hell yeah!
You rolled a natural
Nice.
20.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so looking at it, you've seen this many times. It's a prank pulled occasionally in the Feywild to do this to others, or it's storage of powerful creatures. You know that this is like essentially an amber encased space. This creature inside is probably still alive, would be released if the amber were to break, and is probably a lot larger than what you've given it for. If you remember, Ghost might have used one of these in the past. And the creature inside is a similar creature to the one before, although a slightly different variation. This is you don't know how big, and you don't know what's kind of stage adolescence, but this is a purple worm in this
Mhm,
amber.
Yeah, it sounded familiar. So,
Yeah.
How rare we have these back home. How did you come across this, sir, might I ask?
Well, I had to get a second one because the first one went missing somewhere. I've heard somebody broke it in the Silvercut Crossroads. Idiots. This came to me via way of the dynasty. They have more of these than they know what to do with, and I have some contacts. This was what I requisitioned last night, as I discussed with Siegfried.
I see. So you certainly weren't kidding when you said you had something large on your hands.
Yes, and the magic, the amber is a bit beyond me. So if this were to go wrong, nothing I could do about it. I just wondered if a man of your connections had. Let's say the worst happens and this cracks right now. What would you do? What would you use?
Well, I suppose that depends on who you have at your disposal. Any kind of folk who can pop in extra dimensional spaces for the time being, or
I just wondered if you had any. I don't know. Any. Do you know much about these as creatures? Do they any food they like? Anything I could throw somewhere and they go for it?
would he know?
Not particularly, but I guarantee you'd lie about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well,
Actually, with a natural 20, you know these things are, like you yourself know these things are carnivores and generally are tunneling around to find slower creatures beneath the ground. There's not actually something they seem to prefer, but they don't have eyes, so they'd react to, react to something that sounded like something running across Earth or something making tremors within the Earth.
So, I mean, my expertise is not necessarily in creatures. That is more my partner's kind of thing, and he unfortunately is not here to give his advice to you right now. These things are tunnelers, and they spend their lives underground. My best guess is that perhaps it would choose to go underground, and it may not cause you as much of a ruckus as you think it might. I suppose it depends on the type as well.
As much as a Grangus.
Could I? 60 doesn't want it anymore, and I don't know why. But
Sorry, DM. Who doesn't want it anymore?
Siegfried.
Mm-hmm.
Could I entrust it for you for the time being?
Of course, all your storing solutions.
And
are
whatever.
safe with me.
I assume, given its nature, what price would this be?
God. Well, I would say something like this would not necessarily come at a monetary cost, but more a favor agreed upon to be delivered at a later date.
You know, these are dangerous. I'm not killing anyone for you, Alorian. Not again.
Say less, sir. Say less.
But
Can
fine.
Lorian hear whether they're listening?
Yes.
We are absolutely putting our ears to the door.
We are all
to
pressed
this
against piled in
conversation.
there.
You're gonna open the door and we're all just gonna fall in a pile.
When he says Siegfried, we're all like whispering and nodding and staring at Asgore like, did you hear that?
And might I ask, just out of sheer curiosity, why did Sir Siegfried need of this? Is it to do with his expeditions down under?
Yes, I believe it. He wanted something that could dig and was large and expendable, because too many of his crew are going missing and it's turning unproductive, and he's impatient.
I see.
And
And why would he turn this down in that case if he didn't need it anymore?
I believe it was deemed too risky. He discussed it with Alfaris, and there was no way Alfaris would be able to cover it up. Too much to talk about.
Certainly, if those things pop up anywhere that you're not expecting. Like
Exactly,
say,
and
whatever happened in the Silvercoat Crossroads, I imagine was quite the shamble.
Yes, regrettable, I'm sure. I think as well the election got a bit too delicate after that event in the market. I think everybody's just a bit on edge about this plague and these creatures, and it's boring. But anyway, it's greatly inconvenienced me. He still paid me, but he refused to take it. So, fine. A reasonable favor. In kind. Thank you. And he kind of passes it over to you.
Lorian holds out his hand to shake it, to, like, I guess, I don't know, in some way magically kind of confirm the agreement that he has to
Yeah.
deliver at some later time. I
There's a
don't know
little
how.
like you see him kind of like shiver a little bit as if some kind of thing has got run up his spine a tiny bit as he shakes your hand. It's weird it follows you here. Is there anything else you think I should be interested in? Anything new
Well,
you've got in?
I keep things that I believe might catch your interest aside. If you just bear with me for 1 second, I think I have something out the back now.
I'm still struggling with the puzzle box you gave me the other day. Very
Oh,
interesting.
those some of those things they come from the dynasty. So them fancy mages over there can't even undo them. It's quite the challenge though, and if you can actually solve that yourself, then well. Anyway, excuse me. And Lorraine will go through the back, and he probably sees all you guys, I guess, just like, are you gonna pretend to be listening or to not listen, or?
I imagine not, right? You're all fairly
Yeah.
shameless.
Yeah, no.
So
The
you
most
guys will see
shameless group.
Lorian go to like what you probably assumed was just like a box of garbage. It's just got like broken like instruments and like rusty like cutlery and just kind of like bits of bullshit in it. He sort of like rummages around in this box, just sort of like picking stuff up and kind of like looking at it. And he pulls out what looks like a spinning top, like a children's sort of spinning top, but it's like a bit like, it's made out of wood, but it's probably got some scratches. It doesn't look very good. So it's like, okay. And then he casts a spell on it and then puts it in his hand and then walks out the front of the shop. Now this one came to me the last time my partner was here. I'm not quite sure what he said the situation was where he acquired it, but it does seem to have some sort of magical aura about it. Now, if you want to have a quick check, I have not been able to decipher this myself. We've had it a couple of days, but mayhaps you will be interested to spend some time trying to unlock its secrets.
No, mayhaps. I mean, I've got some students that are bothering me. I'm sure that this will keep them distracted for a couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely. And he sort of puts it on the table and like spins it around, just lets it spin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the movement changes the light. Interesting. I'm sure it'll be an interesting puzzle for them.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll keep them going for ages trying to figure out what its secrets are.
Oh, wonderful. Nothing too dangerous, I hope. Whatever it is.
I believe this will be no danger whatsoever.
Fantastic. It's weird. Sometimes you're very reassuring, knowing that. But you can't lie, or would that be like?
Yeah, I think I imagine
Yeah.
someone like him would know that.
Yeah.
Like Lorraine's people can't lie. So yeah.
Reassuring someone who has to be honest. A
Yeah,
rarity.
it is good in my occupation to know that my customers know that they can trust what I say.
Yeah, well, this is wonderful. Thank you.
And that'll be about 5 gold if you don't mind there.
Absolutely. And he kind of takes out a little pouch and kind of counts it out and puts it down and slides it over to you. Did you have fun at the party?
These sort of
Schmoozing.
how do I say that in accent?
Schmoozing.
Schmoozing.
Schmouzing.
Tootin' tootin'
That
schmoozing.
is a
Schmoozing.
sentence. Schmooze.
Yeah.
A regular schmooze.
Regular
Just
schmooze.
schmooze.
It's nice to get to know folk, but I guess with the political inclination of the party, it was somewhat dull. People were not as loose-lipped as they would normally have been at one of these soirees. So.
No, honestly, if one person mentioned to me about crypto chain or blocked, whatever it was, some magic ledger they want to create, I would have just burnt the place down. I was very close.
Maybe you would have done us all a favor. But it seems like someone rung the alarm last night that got us all out of Dodge, so...
But do you know what happened?
No, I mean, I was in the party the whole night. I didn't see where the ruckus was.
No, I didn't really hear much either. I think afterwards, though, I saw that, the redhead girl, all one, aloof, annoying. I think she and Heinrich retreated, so...
Oh,
Really?
I think I know who
Yes.
you're talking about. She's a businesswoman, right? Of some sorts.
some description. I think only really arrived 2-3 weeks ago. I haven't met her before, but seems to have Heinrich's ear and they seem to want to talk quite a bit about what happened. But far be it for me to pry.
Is she some sort of? Is she part of his campaign party? It seems.
Seems to lead security in some way. I think.
Security, you don't say. Fascinating.
If I was with Miller, I'd be worried, but that's just me.
Well, she seems to certainly have her own back covered, if you know what I mean.
It'll do. Not family. It's dangerous.
Look, wait, we're all listening from the back, are we?
Yeah.
Laura, you hear in your head, a name. Get a name.
Does he mean a name for the redhead woman?
You all know
Oh,
that's
we know
Kari.
that
Yeah, we know it's
Yeah,
Kari.
you know that name.
We know who it is. We know who it is. That's why he didn't say, because we all know.
Fine.
Yeah, normally there's a bit more gossip going around, but all people can talk about is, some sort of rabid flyer at the rally, and Sulfurina saves the day, and someone,
Yeah, it's quite a coup on the day they saved the city. The nice boys, as it were, turn up to secret party. It's, I suppose, the Colin. Sorry, I'm boring you. You said you weren't interested in this, but people are confused. The allegiances are.
People coming out of nowhere, saving the city in the middle of a political display. Was this put on by Heinrich? Did he hire these people to put this all away? Who knows? And who sent the flyer? I mean, did you hear anything more about that? Or, I mean, your people surely must have been looking into it, right? Like
Yes,
traces and such.
we've actually, for the time being, suspended air travel. The spores, as looking into the web of plague, we maintained some of the air travel between here and Berlac and Hammer and Whitestone, and this was one that flew directly over what we consider would be the epicenter of the incidents to the far east, and seemingly somewhere on its journey we lost contact, and this was the result. Still looking into exactly what happened, but for the time being we're advising at the moment even no air travel over the area.
And were the guards able to bring down the airship that dropped this down and find out who was responsible?
It carried out overseas. It didn't dock. We've sent people to find it, and it seems to have eventually, the elemental inside seems to have eventually succumbed after some time. And searching through the wreckage, there are precious few bodies. Strange.
Fascinating. Something to think about. Well, at least we know with the air travel suspended. Although, depending on who put out that order, that can't be popular with many folk, disrupting their businesses and such.
It's not particularly popular, and it's a little. I mean, the council decided, obviously, clearly, but I suspect there will be renewed pressure on everyone to deal with this threat quickly and swiftly.
Certainly, us humble business owners down here in the promenade appreciate your efforts to keeping us and our welfare all safe now.
Yeah. Let us know if it has impacted you in any way, Lorian. I'm sure goods can be moved in a variety of ways.
Well, you know me. I have my own ways.
And so do I. Some of us benefit when the air travel goes down. Anyway, enough. I have students.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy their puzzle. Let me know how they get on with that.
Thank you. Wonderful minds to be shaped for the shaped it isn't a word, but I like it. For the future. Good day, Lorian. I hope you are busy and not impacted too much. And maybe get some sleep. A busy night. Expect the people at the biggest scrambling out. I'm particle for this type of thing. And kind of takes a couple of steps out. Oh, and
Ribbit.
Yeah,
Ribbit.
ribbit. Oh, and if Odessa does come knocking,
Hmm.
I can trust you.
You can always trust my discretion, sir.
Thank you, Lorraine. And kind of
But of
leaves
course,
you.
you're not doing anything that would be interesting to her anyway. So
No, and neither are you. Thank you, Lorraine. Kind of you see him leave and like the little door shut, ribbit. And Mel kind of goes, as you all would say, probably try to push through. There's like a spilling out as everyone on the door kind of rolls out a tiny bit from trying to listen
Lorraine's
too
just
much.
kind of like pulling his like ill-gotten gold coins onto his palm
Mm.
and just sort of like drops them in his pocket.
Well, that guy's super suspicious.
Extremely suspicious. Well, actually, once you get to know him, he's actually not suspicious at all. He's kind of a buffoon.
Was that a purple worm to dig beneath him on? Because, guys, I tried to sleep with Siegfried at the party yesterday, but man didn't give a shit. He was too busy being controlled by aboleths or whatever, and
Oh, what
thinking
now?
about his mind. Right, he's the same as, and he's going to gesture to
You're
Asco.
just a fond of random statements, sir.
But they're all true. That's the best part. Like, I shook his hand at the party, and it was like touching Ascor this morning. Like, whatever happened with his expeditions beneath the ground, he's been aboleth touched or something, and that happened like 6-7 months ago. I also found out at the party it's like the same time as Ascor, and he's like doing that thing maybe with like tracing red strings through the air and like materializing
Lorien
specific
just
words of
turns-
prestidigitation.
Lorraine just turns to Asco and he says, and you don't feel bad about being your own brother's sloppy seconds. He couldn't get in your brother's pants, so he's touching you in the morning now.
Look, I'm sure this is some kind of insult, but I'm so fucking confused by every syllable that I can't even hope to take offense. Do you mind if we just focus on the fact that, well, it clearly seems like Barnes, you mentioned there was something going on. Did Barnes mention there was some chit chat about the digging on the underground?
Yeah, we just overheard it in the conversation, right?
Is this the first time we've heard of?
So I think
Just-
maybe Bond's telling you guys what Siegfried said at the party. This might be the first time
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
relaying that conversation.
Okay.
So he'll kind of just
cool.
download the whole thing and just tell you guys all that transpired and all the susseries of Siegfried, who was also the guy who sent the assassins after Ascor. Yeah.
Cool. So you were saying that like this isn't the first time you've heard about this idea of going deeper underground with Siegfried.
Yeah, well, we spoke about that at the party, so he'll be like, oh, yeah, shit, guys. But, by the way, I actually spoke to Siegfried, and I was like, we can solve that problem for you. Why don't we be your task force? We're the nice guys. So, if we need to get Siegfried alone and isolate him, I can just be like, Siegfried, my friend, we've been investigating beneath the ground, and we've got something huge for you about your aboleth problem to, like, get his attention all peaked. He'll come to us, and then we can kidnap him or kill him or whatever. But we can get his attention really easily. Or
Just-
investigate his workers.
I'm so...
Just to
sorry, Jeremy.
clarify, he didn't. So that this might just be Barnes talking about it. He hasn't told you about the aboleth problem, so you
No,
revealing that
no, I've
information to
just-
him would
yeah.
be yeah, okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, this is just like putting two and two together with the whole like touching the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lorraine's just sort of like throwing the purple worm egg up and down in the air and catching it sort of absent-mindedly while he listens to
Roll a
what
dex
Barnes is
check.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually want me to do a dex
No,
check?
I'm kidding. No.
I think my dex is good. I have
Barnes is like,
plus
But
3.
what if?
I have +3. I think I'll be fine.
What if the natty
Um,
one?
And he said, you're so keen to always be putting yourself out there and doing work for other people, and you've been in this place 5 minutes and you're getting caught up in all this nonsense.
I'm just having so much fun. I spent 300 years talking about Archmage's gardens and boring shit, and now there's real problems. It's the best. I'm having the best time, honestly. And he's
And
like,
when you say we, you mean y'all.
sure, yes, the nice boys, we, the collective, and you as well, Lorian, since now you know all of our deep, dark secrets about Orcus and Divine Gates and Asmodeus and Gebs. He kind of asks quizzically at Hayden. Not sure if he got the name right.
Yeah, Geb, yeah.
The mafia and shit, yeah.
Yes, and I'm sure all sorts of people are going to be lining up to get me to spill your secrets to them, especially the ones about Gabe. They're going to care about that so much.
Yeah. Hmm.
But that is a good point. You kind of came in here and just sort of unloaded on me, and now I know all this stuff, and
Sure.
I could tell anyone.
I feel like we're intrinsically fate-bound, the six of us. It's this inexplicable feeling of kinship that we just belong together as a party. I can't explain it. But, no, more seriously, we're going to win the election, so if you want to be friends with the Master of Commerce, you better be on our side.
No matter who the
Hold
Master
on.
of Commerce is, I guarantee I will be on their good side. Just the same way I am with the Master of Information. You know, I can't lie, so I'm on everyone's good side.
Well, true, but he's going to win, so this is the horse you want to back.
Barnes, hold on. We don't even. I'm going to campaign against my father.
No,
How's
you're
this gonna
not.
work?
You're not going to campaign against him. You're going to kill your father, and then you're going to take the reins of his campaign.
And with that bombshell, I'm looking at the times as everybody looks at Barnes like, heck. I see the Asmodeus link. Would you guys want to take a break for like 10 minutes to compose how the group's going to react to let's kill Heinrich as the development of the plan?
Okay, cool. So we're back in 5 minutes?
Let's say 10
10
past
minutes.
9.
Okay, cool. See you guys
Alright.
soon.
Hello.
We're
Hello.
back.
For those who ever wondered, Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Fantasy canonically take place in the same universe. Anyway.
They don't necessarily. Actually, no, it's been retconned a bit, so probably.
Oh, I thought end times meant
Once
that like the
again.
universe just restarts and it's however long humanity
I
can
think
hold
it
out
does
for.
in Warhammer, but like originally they said the gods of chaos were born during like the sort of medieval period.
Yeah.
But then the storyline's now like the Eldari, aka the elves, were in the galaxy 60 million years ago, and like that shit was going
Anyway.
on. So
What universe?
Thank you. Anyone? Luke and
I
run
watch a whole lot of YouTube videos on this shit. I love
Luke,
it.
Luke and I run a Warhammer podcast on the side. Check it out. No kidding.
You guys totally should.
Well, Luke would run it, and I'd be like, "Oh, this thing I vaguely know," and Luke would be like, "Yes, 4 pages of lore. Let's go."
The thing is, it's like I know loads about it, but I don't know what I know because it's so expansive. You have to ask me a question before I know what I know about it.
That's me and Tolkien, yeah.
Yeah. So, the group have come up with. Well, one of the group has come up with some plans.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The internet now
you've been-
knows.
We've been
You've been
live for a little
outed.
while. We've been live for a little while.
Outed as a massive nerd.
Oh.
So, hello everyone, welcome back. We left off with Barnes saying that it was their plan to kill Heinrich, or his plan to kill Heinrich. After some discussion, a visit from the headmaster, the group had a little bit of time perhaps to ponder what exactly is happening. And in that time, Lorian, Barnes is indecipherable. He says what he says with such conviction, even when he's joking. You roll for this. You can't tell if that is a serious. Well, I mean, the roll back was higher,
Oh
but
my god.
it's more. You look at him and you're like, he absolutely could be serious. I think is the thing. Like, you believe he's being serious. That's like, yeah, this is the plan. Sorry. So clarify. I don't know if you're looking to see is that serious or is that a joke.
Yeah,
I'm beyond that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know if he was just joking.
No, he's not
Deadly
joking.
serious.
You're quite serious about this, and none of the rest of y'all seem surprised about this suggestion of a premeditated political assassination.
And it's Asgor's dad. Asgor's brother tried to kill him. It's sort of a, eye for an eye situation. And can I remind you that Heinrich employs Kari, the woman who did this to Hayden, and also killed our dear Aku. Vengeance, my friends.
Well, you could present your evidence to someone and have it taken care of more officially than a sort of assassination.
That's
style.
not how power works.
He's right. And also, right, okay, think of it this way. We have two shit candidates for a political position. We have Heinrich von Galverdane, evil. We have Silfrena, a rally bomber, evil. We don't want either of them to win, so why shouldn't we just win, if not them? Like,
Can I let you on a little secret? And I will tell you my honest truth that I do not think that y'all will be any better than either of those candidates. Actually, if I am being quite honest, I think that all of you would be in some ways worse. In many ways, a lot worse, actually.
I think Asgore would be fantastic in power. A real man of the people, this man.
You
Barnes,
are
could
not
you
even
roll it?
convincing yourself.
Barnes, could you roll a deception check at disadvantage as far
Yeah. Yes, I can. It's a 22.
Okay. People at the party can roll an insight check versus that.
I would like you to explain what your real motivation for this is, because it sure as hell isn't out of the goodness of your heart to do a service to the people of Amon.
No, I don't really care about the people of Amon, that's true. I care about approximately 8 people in the world, maybe, and most of them are you guys. And, well, it's in one of you's interest to win this, Asgore. It's in 2 of your interest to get revenge on the clasp, that's you two. Zug, it's probably good for you if you have a mate on the council, given you're a wanted man. And Lorian, well, I just met you, but you seem cool. This seems fine for you.
Well, I appreciate that. But
I
this is quite a lot to process. Go ahead, Hayden. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
getting revenge on the clasp is that's I mean, that's really not necessary. Fine.
Aku, do you feel the same way?
I absolutely do not feel the same way. Hayden, I can't believe that you've just allowed these people to... Well, and he looks at his eye, and he looks at his... where his scar would be, and on his hand... Get away with any of that.
It's like trying to say you're gonna bulldoze a mountain. Like, it's impossible.
They're just a network of people. We just get rid of them.
That's like... Where does it stop? Like, okay, we kill Kari, but then Kari has a boss, and then Kari's boss is a boss, and then Kari's boss has a boss as a boss, and it just, like, keeps going. Like...
How important is Kari? She's the one who's right next to Heinrich von Galverdane. She's probably pretty high up. And surely it would send a bit of a message to the rest of the Mafia, like, don't fuck with us. Or we could just pay them better, right? Can't we just pay them better? They're the Mafia. Just kill the
Does
bits
sound
you
like a
care
pretty good
about.
idea.
And then hang out with the
Look,
rest of them.
Not that clear. You can't just do it. Okay, Mafia, here's how it works. They make their money through underhand means. It's a black market. But they need stability just the same as any other industry does. There needs to be a promise of smooth transition.
Right, so we get rid of Kari, who will have failed in her job, by the way, at keeping Asgore away, and have even failed to kill her own man, Hayden, because you're very much distinctly not dead. She's a complete waste of space, so we could probably just get her discredited in the eyes of the entire class because she's sucked and failed at everything she's tried. So maybe we don't even have to kill her, but we do need her out of the picture if we're going to kill Heinrich, so that needs to happen.
Letting the clasp know that Kari failed in killing me and Aku kind of reveals that me and Aku are still alive.
Do you think the rest of the clasp are going to care about the two of you? Surely they'll just be like, well, Kari can't manage her own men. She's dead to us, whatever.
Yeah, but...
You're not the top of their shit list, you're just 2 people and their organization's massive.
Yeah, but the
Are you
reason
that
I was
important?
killed is because... No, it's because I know too much and I defected, so... They'd still want to kill me.
What do you know that's important to anyone who's not Kari? And so what if they come for you? You're the people that destroyed the Wand of Orcus. Where's your sense of self-belief? You're super powerful. Zug, you could probably kill a whole army of the class by yourself if you had to.
Didn't feel super
Aku,
powerful
Hayden.
when they were cutting my throat open yesterday, so...
Yeah, well, you got yourselves kidnapped.
Gentlemen, if I may interrupt, I think Barnes has a point. I think it will benefit all of us here to make this kind of move. The only one I'm not sure it would benefit so much is Lorian, which is all I want to ask. Lorian, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not make my position on premeditated political assassinations clear?
If I could be completely honest with you, I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
Okay. Well, fair
That's
enough.
normally my job.
Well, I probably won't want to be involved in that if I'm being completely honest. It's not in my interest to have you, sir, no disrespect at all, run in part of the city with what I know about you and what I've experienced of y'all since you arrived. You're very fun people, and I certainly would like to get to know y'all a lot better. And it seems like you've had some very interesting adventures, and I would be more than happy to accompany you on some of your interesting adventures with the betrayer gods and demon lords and finding all sorts of cursed artifacts and having crazy adventures.
Actually, we've already
but
done that. Now we're just starting a business.
I see. Well, I'm less interested in that.
Understandable. Doesn't seem a bit more boring than what we were doing beforehand.
Indeed it does. And it would be a net negative for me as a person overall.
So then would you
As a
prefer...
person or a businessman?
Both then. Both.
Would you prefer
Well, as a
Silfrena,
person,
the rally
explain. I don't
bomber?
understand.
How would you like me to explain it more than I already have?
Just be direct. What do you mean as a person? I'm not even taking it personally. I'm just impatient with.
I have no problem with murder. However, getting on the wrong side of the clasp and also murdering someone like Heinrich von Gaverdane, I don't feel like being complicit in that as a person. And also as a business owner, you would be terrible on the council. So that would just not benefit
As a
me in any way.
person, as a person, what do you mean as a person? That's what we don't understand. What do you mean as a person? We're all people.
Yeah. But are you though?
Well, I'm actually a half-orc. I don't know what that means.
Asgores are people
Being a
too.
person.
And the Grungus, they don't like that either.
They don't like people.
No, they don't like the political assassination part. It's just very serious business,
All right, but listen,
a little bit of accidental murder or a little hanky-panky here and there is all quite fine.
So here's the
someone
thing.
high profile like Heinrich von Gaverdane,
I'm not even certain that we'd actually have to do it ourselves, because his opponent is Silfrena, the rally bomber, and I think it would be probably quite easy to engineer her reattempt at killing Heinrich since she failed the first time, without us actually having to do it. Or just, pin the whole damn thing on her because she tried it once already, and we can probably get evidence for it. Like, it just seems really quite conveniently lined up.
Well, when you put it like that, I find that more agreeable, but however, it doesn't really solve the problem. And he points to Asgore that he would be terrible on the council.
Look,
All right.
I understand your reservations, but let me say this. We have already 2 groups of people running for this office. We have somebody who is already willing to go out of their way to kill completely innocent people, not even their opposition, just innocent people, in an attempt to get hold of the seat of power. On the other side, we have. Do I need to explain any further what's on the other side? What we know already to be the case? I know it's not a race to the bottom, You know, I'm not so sure myself I want to be a leader of Amon, no less. My family has been previously, yes, a boon, more than that. But now it seems like they're a source of everything that threatens the world, everything we've survived and lived through. And I understand how you may not feel that way, Lorian, because you've not been there the entire time, and I can't expect you to feel those feelings you get when you stand near those creatures or look them in the eye. But one thing you do feel when you look at them is you know they're the antithesis to everything that lives, breathes. And I don't just mean industry, I don't just mean nepotism. Those have their ills too. For sure. This
That
is
was
something else. This is... Quite simply, it's a cosmic evil. And it already rests itself in such extreme power. And it's a threat to my life, it's a threat to everybody here just from knowing what we know. Personally, I'm not advocating as some kind of leader here that you all follow me. I'm advocating that we follow Barnes's plan. And from there, well, I have more trust in us as a party than I do in what seemingly once was my family. Or this person who's happy to just throw the average person as fodder into their own campaign. That shocked me. You know, I understand the family I come from and what that means for other people in this world. But that has shocked me.
Aku's eyes have been glazed over for like almost the entirety of the time that Asgore has been speaking. But as soon as Asgore says he trusts the party more than his family, he's gonna get a pretty questionable look from Aku. And he'll say, "And really, Asgore, do you mean that?"
And Askell will stop for a second and he's not looking towards you, but just sort of down and he's nodding for a second. There's two questions here, and I don't know which one you're asking. The question is, number one, do I trust this party? No. No, I don't. I have very good reason not to. History, suspicions, revelations. And he sort of looks sideways. Hiding. But then there's what I know about my family, and then there's what I don't know about my family. And I don't know which of those two last things are worse.
Well, if anything, you can take into consideration the fact that for past several months that we've all been traveling together, we've successfully kept you alive, whereas your family are the ones who've been sending assassins after you. So there's that.
And knowingly replacing you with a doppelganger that you yourself had to kill.
Yes,
Very
fine.
good.
Both of these have been corroborated. I don't
Which
need
is-
reminding.
Buck fucking wild, if you don't mind me saying. That's some
Insane.
crazy shit.
Your family.
Well, Lorian, I tend to agree with you. The prospects of this empire are buck fucking wild, as you'd say it.
Asgore, I have a question for you. I'm not really planning on staying in Amon after all this, so to be perfectly honest, who becomes, member of tal'dorei Council doesn't really matter to me. But Barnes is suggesting we kill your dad. Are you okay with that? Like, I know he's tried to kill you and replace you with a doppelganger, but he's your dad.
Hayden, if I was okay with that, do you think anybody would be okay with that? Whatever relationship, how complex, how thin or non-existent their relationship has been with their progenitor? Do you think anybody takes it lightly, this prospect? Do you think anybody would take lightly the prospect that their family is instrumental in their assassination? You know? What have I survived? In fact, Hayden, you were sent by my family to kill me.
I wasn't sent to kill you. I was sent to get you safely back to your house. And then to keep you safely away from your house later. Very
But it's no
definition.
secret that we've had assassins since.
Yeah, that was separate. That was not my job.
Sure. But even our run-ins of the class, those in their own right have been...
Yeah.
Not certain.
Aku kind of crosses his arms and he's looking around at everyone who I assume most people are kind of sitting down at this point. Well, honestly, Barnes has a good point. If Heinrich is dead, that benefits a fair number of us. And if Kari is dead, even more so. I'm quite on board with the idea of Kari disappearing. Although, as Lorien did say, I don't imagine that kidnapping and murdering Heinrich von Galverdane is going to be any kind of an easy task. I mean, surely we could consider perhaps suggesting the idea to somebody who might benefit from, well, the political impact that Heinrich dying would have.
Aku's talking my language. I think it's imperative that we either involve Sylphrena or we frame her entirely. And rather conveniently...
Why not both?
Why not both, indeed? Rather conveniently, we're meeting her today. So, what do we want to do with that meeting?
Might I make an alternative suggestion? If y'all are insisting on creating some further political turmoil in this city, well, I'm very on board for that. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly, and it will generate a lot of business for me. When things get tough, people turn to all sorts of hokey stuff, and they ask less questions, so it's much easier for me to shift my wares, if you know what I mean. But there's one thing that y'all haven't really looked at, an angle which might help you unravel this in a way that doesn't involve framing anyone or any murders or kidnapping.
Lorien, that's great news. I want to hear it too. If I'm entirely honest with you, I wouldn't want the perfect answer to be me become the seat of power, but please go on.
Well, the previous Master of Commerce. Have y'all looked into the mystery behind her murder? Hannah Wasserman? I'm not quite sure. Common's not my first language, but perhaps there's some secrets to be found in what happened to her that could lead back to
Jamie, how much did you pay her?
How much did who pay you? Sorry,
I was saying, Jamie, how much did he pay you to influence us back onto the actual storyline?
No, he didn't say anything. He didn't say
attempt
anything.
to try and steer us anywhere outside of pure chaos.
No,
Teachers, all possible storylines.
This is my own notes. Jamie didn't say anything.
I know, I'm just messing.
That's the drinking game, guys. You've all got it on your sheet except Lauren drink.
I mean, don't given what you saw at the rally, what you've seen that Heinrich's involved with the class, whatever Sylphrena was up to it after the rally, aren't y'all curious what actually happened to the previous master and the circumstances of her death that led to this situation happening in the first place?
Well, we started investigating Hannah's
You did a great job.
death. Well, we found out that the way she was killed, her soul wasn't there anymore. It was like how when people were killed by the Wand of Orcus, their bodies remain, but their soul is gone, and you can't, resurrect them to talk to them or find out how they were murdered. So,
and y'all went to some sort of arcane institution to find out what sort of historically evil arcane objects could have caused such a phenomenon in a body, right?
well, we had just kind of had dealings with pretty evil stuff, and we kind of, I think, just decided it was maybe not something we want to get involved with. But I guess Lorien does make a good point.
Maybe,
The problem is people
tell me
dying.
if I'm wrong here, and I only read what you guys are telling me. But next time when you come into contact with an object like that, you could not attune to it, and then maybe it won't be so bad.
It's a problem with people dying. Like a necromancy problem.
What, around these parts?
No, like the whole soul's not moving on shebang.
Would Lorien know about that?
Lorien would absolutely not know about that. That is party knowledge from Raven Queen and also Aku dying.
Yeah, because obviously, like, I know that the Raven Queen's place or wherever it is like a similar sort of extra dimensional space to the
Baywatch,
Feywild, but it's
the
not
Shadowfell.
It's not Shadowfell, that's it, but it's
The
like not the same
Shadowfell.
whole, yeah.
Not directly linked. Well, it is linked, but not the same.
Yeah.
You don't intrinsically know what's going on over there.
Sorry, I slightly missed the context of this coming up because Kale was having a little asthma, so I had to give him a little
Baby.
Hi, Kale.
Give
You
him a little
okay
inhaler,
now?
a little cat.
He's
food.
okay. He's had pats. He's fine. Anyway, yes. So what was the context we were that came up in?
So you said to me that there was no one was going through the Shadowfell or something, right?
That was what came up. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I'll be honest. I've never been to the Shadowfell myself.
Kind of interesting, actually. Oh. That's something, well, it's getting in the way of asking Hannah Wasserman's corpse, right?
Mm.
How else would we get information?
How else indeed? I mean, you seem to have a lot of information. Certainly, this is the first time I've heard anything about the Shadowfell, so could start there too. Find some Raven Queen fanatics and...
I mean, also, we've got the greatest necromancer that ever lived in cold storage in Rosanna.
That was a sentence that I did not expect you to say.
It's quite cold, the room they have him in, you know. I always think I should bring him a blanket next time.
Well, if he is a necromancer, is he some sort of lich?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it's
He
probably
sort of
best to
is.
keep him cool. You don't want him to be decomposing now, do you?
Right, that's true. That's very thoughtful of Roman, actually. Yeah.
Roman? Yeah. Okay, I was like... Yep, that makes sense.
Huh. I just keep thinking of new ways to apply our lich friend. Huh.
You
But
know,
anyway.
I'm still overwhelmed. Hannah Wasserman, that was so long ago.
Well, he just looks at his wrist, but there's nothing there. How long ago was the murder of Hannah Westman?
3 months ago?
That was
Alright,
like 2 days ago, I think. Actually, it's quite new information.
Very well, Lauren. You rue this day.
No, he thinks it's like 2 days ago in his mind because time works funny for him. That's why he's saying that. Not because he's lying to you guys.
Well, it was more than several days,
Oh, I
many
see.
times more. But I don't remember the details. Maybe Rashad did. Anybody?
And there's Rasha, who you all know is in town and might want to go see. That's the final thread point. You've got to go investigate.
The final thread point. Boy, there's too many thread points right now.
Well, if you have a friend in town who might know more information, why don't you start there?
I did want to reach out to him. Looks to Barnes.
And drop him a line. What do you want me to say to him?
Maybe he can come here and speak to us in person. A lot. Talk about.
I just invite him to the... What's the shop called, Lorian?
No, we should meet him somewhere else. This is just... If we're talking about political stuff, I feel like we should... This stays here with us. We go somewhere else of others.
I have one problem.
You really wanted
Go
to
on.
murder, right? All right, never mind. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
I do love killing.
You're not wrong.
I can
My
tell
problem-
you got that face.
Bloodlust.
You love me killing some Nazis.
Bloodlust.
Kill some Nazis.
My problem being that Hayden has the magical hat, and I am still rather unpopular in Emon, and maybe rather recognizable.
Would you like a disguise? Is that what you're saying?
We could
Find another hat, maybe. Are they common? I mean, we used to hand them out at parties for jokes. There got to be a lot of hats of disguise kicking about.
Wait, I've got a hat too, but I'm me and I'm on. I need it too.
I have a spell that could make you invisible, but
Lorian, I will also say, given that you are apparently the one who comes back, you'll suddenly, with your... How much wisdom do you have?
20.
Realize that if Asgore has killed the doppelganger, there is no more doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, somebody might notice that there is no more doppelganger, or at least no more Asgore.
Mm.
But
would he say
I didn't
anything
think
to
of
them?
that.
It might come up with 20 wisdom if you care to tell the party. At some point, you may continue with the general roleplay.
I think surely we could find a hat or something. I could go on another shopping trip and pick up something other than tourist merchandise.
I could also get someone to swing by with some bits and pieces that might be helpful as well.
Let's do that. And if you did want to meet your friend, where would I be telling him to go?
How about the room at the Galverdine residence where Asgore killed his doppelganger?
We're thinking about the same friend. I don't imagine how we'd get onto an estate without tripping over every rock on the way.
DM, how long has it been since we were at...
This is the
Tuesday.
next day. This is the next morning.
Chilling.
I mean, would he go to a brothel?
No, Barnes. I don't you make that face, please.
What do you mean? Is your friend Rasha not a brothel sort of
No,
guy?
Rasha is not a brothel sort of guy.
Well, you could
Me.
always tell him it's just an inn.
actually, it would be good for us to go back there because we need to get some of our stuff back from the woman who runs the brothel, she has our stuff.
Our thoughts and our hair, right?
Yeah.
But also,
Good.
those rooms are really good because, you know, if we bring visitors in, they won't remember what we talk about. But we will. So if we want to stage anything political, then...
But what good does it do us if we want to have a conversation and the person that we're having the conversation with doesn't remember a single thing?
Well, useful in certain applications, not all of them. That's for sure. We want Sylphrena to remember things, but Siegfried maybe not. We'll have a think. But it's quite a powerful thing to have a forgetful room. Anyway, your friend, not a brothel, not here.
Well, for what it's worth, as someone who has explored many different entrances to Veronica's establishment, if you don't go in through the front door, those spells don't work that well.
Oh, interesting.
Food for thought.
That's why you broke into the window. That makes more sense now.
I cannot say yes, that is why I did that, but draw your own conclusions.
Just do it for shits and giggles. I got you clocked. Alright then. So, what's the plan?
Well, Lorian raises a good point. The doppelganger is disposed of. I remain the Astor von Galverdane. And it's going to raise alarms if I don't appear before my masters as the doppelganger that I'm supposed to be. However, that throws a significant difficulty in front of our plans if I'm not here. And by the gods know what they want me to do next.
The betrayer gods?
I could ask Asmodeus for some advice, you know, if you want some godly opinion.
Thank you, both of you, for your inane contributions. But please.
To be serious, Asgore, earlier when I first pitched it to you, I wasn't sure how you received it, but do you know, when you spoke about it earlier, how you weren't sure that you wanted the seat, I think I was more convinced than ever listening to you say that actually aren't a bad choice for the role. And I thought I would think that much later in this whole escapade, but you've really surprised me right out the gate, so
Look,
good
I
on you.
have the experience of certain things that perhaps makes me able to have a go at the position, but doesn't necessarily make me the person for it. My only concern at the moment is who else there is. I don't know if I'm going to be perfect. I suspect not.
You'll be better than the two evil candidates. Assumedly, probably.
Probably is a strong word, Barnes.
Maybe. Perhaps.
Unlikely.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I
That's
would
a good
agree
one. That's
with
a nice one.
Lorian.
I
A
think
nice
the
sprinkling of
numbers
hope.
are on my side.
I
And
can
that's the
agree on
only
that.
reason I'm interested in this at all. Think about it. On one side, we have the Amon bomber. On the other side, we have an aboleth. I'm neither
Sorry,
of those.
your
That's all.
father's an aboleth? You missed that. You left that bit out.
The Squid Father.
The squid father?
It seems to be.
Is that why
I'm
you're
not-
so sweaty
I'm
all
not
the time?
misremembering how much we communicated, some of us, am I?
So where we are with this is we think Siegfried has relations to Aboleth, but we
Yes.
don't know if Heinrich has any relations to Aboleth.
Okay, cool.
It might be that Siegfried sent the assassins after you to hide it from Heinrich. We're not sure. Potential Aboleth.
Your
Aboleth
dad's an
implicit.
Aboleth, huh? Well, no judgment from me.
I'm afraid it sadly is a race to the bottom, and all I'm saying is that I think, and many of us could potentially agree, that I'm the best of anywhere from an ambiguous to a terrible bunch.
I feel like only last week you would have proclaimed yourself to be the best option conceivable, so I think we're seeing some real character growth here, Ascor. It's very exciting.
Yeah, you are an awful lot more normal than I was led to believe by your sister. So that is that's nice to see for you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, so what did you and my sister speak about?
Oh, just business mostly.
She's
Yeah?
really fond of you.
Well, I have very good relationships with all my clients. I endeavor to supply what they all need. And in turn,
Same.
that keeps business going.
What?
It was in this moment they realised that in the future they might be brother-in-laws. Don't you love to see it?
Did you say that out loud?
Yes.
Oh no, I can confirm. At least from my side, it is nothing like that.
Bless her cotton socks. That's unfortunate for her.
No, she is a very
My
delightful.
sister.
Your sister.
She's my sister.
Your sister, Eloise, Miss Eloise. She is a delightful lady, and I treat her with the utmost respect that she deserves. And she is a loyal customer of mine, so I would never do anything to damage that relationship.
You keep on giving Miss Eloise what she needs.
Could have sworn the
Indeed,
head
I
of the
do.
brothel house said the same thing to me.
That sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Well, so there's that.
All I'm saying is that I don't think I'm the best candidate, and with this kind of conversation, I will prove to you I'm the worst candidate.
Well, in that case, if you're a terrible candidate, which I would agree with you on, what about your sister? She's extremely learned. She is involved in all sorts of businesses across Amon, and she certainly has a drive to prove herself to amongst her brothers and rise up to a position of power, for want of a better word. But she wants to do good, and she seems like a genuine person.
Completely agree with you, which is why I think she's terrible for office. Frankly, the best people would not survive a minute in this environment. And at worst, she is very convincing asset to whatever cabal my family is currently involved with. I don't know. I don't want to suspect my own family, but there is evidence, overwhelming evidence, to suggest that it may be right to do so.
Would Lorraine have any thoughts that Eloise is up to weird stuff in the same way that they've discovered Siegfried is?
You would never have seen evidence to that effect.
Well,
Now, I think for the time being, who actually ends up in the seat of power might be of little consequence. Because regardless, we need to get rid of Heinrich and the clasp and frame Sylphrena to prevent the evils from getting the seat anyway. So we might as well get started on that and mining some shit for Sylphrena. And if Asgore really upsets you, Lorian, then maybe Asgore, you don't want to be the leader anyway. We talked to Eloise. We'll see. We'll see how it develops. Maybe someone will pop up out of the ground like a daisy and will be like, you should be the guy.
Lorian's like throwing the purple worm egg up and down in his head, and he looks at Asco and he says, "And you know, accidents do happen as well."
Yes. Yes.
I'll send word to get some disguises or some sort of clothes over here for y'all to wear at Barnes. If you want to step out and look around for yourself, feel free. And as he says that, he sort of like beckons like a little sparrow onto his finger, and he sort of like suddenly he's just like talking in bird, just and the sparrow flies out the window.
Well, I feel it could be agreed that at least those who aim to seek the office currently are not the best for it. And I certainly accept, if not encourage, we continue to think about who may make the best leader, whatever. The best foil to the powers that currently be. It doesn't need to be me. I think it makes sense for now, but it doesn't need to be me.
Gosh, I'm just starting
Until
to
we
think.
find a better option, I think we should proceed with that. See what information we can find out. Just stick to the information for now. Then we can make better decisions in the future.
When you talk like that, I just think it should be you. That's crazy. Wow. Good job, Asgore. Okay, do you want to talk to your friend? Or are we doing Sylphrena first?
Might as well put the message out right now. Give him some time to return.
Yeah.
Alright, great. It's going to be a happy reunion, isn't it? Given last time you saw him, you traded his life in for...
Hayden looks at Aku. He'll be fine.
I'll give him a call.
Okay.
Lorian
Asco
pours,
sat there, he
Lorian
sits
pours a
back
glass
and-
of milk
Sorry,
for
go ahead.
Asco. Lorian pours a glass of milk for Asco. Since he
Asco
seems
doesn't
probably...
even look at Lorian, just picks it up in his hand, takes a sip, sits back in his chair, prestidigitation, little symbol of Geb above, a little rasher in his hand, and waits.
We didn't agree where I'm asking him to.
We agreed not here, but
What's like a random local tavern or something? Like, let's not overcomplicate it, maybe, if we're having hats of disguise.
Not the class one that you guys went to, I assume.
Just,
The
surely
crowd.
in the last few days we would have passed a quiet-looking
Yeah, the-
tavern in this area that we would know, right?
Yeah, there's the Six Nickels nearby.
Right. Okay. Hello, Rashaval. This is Barnes from the Spice Boys. They miss you and think that you need to talk. Meet at the Three Nickels?
wow, that was literally it. Exactly
It's the Six Nickels. But that's
Shit.
I like maybe one or two more words more, but that's pretty much bang on.
I love Lude sending spell to her own character.
Okay. Is Aku safe?
Bonza.
Too late for that. Too late for that. You left me for dead. I'm salty.
Bonza looks at Aku and then he is safe. We're having breakfast right now. All is well. Thank you.
Are you
for...
casting Sending again?
Yeah. Saving Hayden.
He was the only one I was warned of. To my regret. When did you say the Six Nickels? and then you get the sense that Rasha has cast sending back for you to reply, so you don't use a spell slot.
Okay, Bod's gonna look at people. When? Like, now? When do you want to meet him? Like, an hour? Lunch?
There's it, DM.
10, 11 in the morning. You guys have been chatting for a while, but you woke up and still in Orange shop. It's probably getting on for lunchtime, but
We'll probably need at least half an hour before my friend comes back.
Alright, want late lunch, 1 o'clock? Something like that? Great, alright. Send back to Rasha. Late lunch, 1 o'clock, yeah, 6 nickels. See you there.
there's no reply because you're replying.
Yeah.
Yep.
He asked after you, Aku. He said he regretted that he didn't know. He wasn't warned about your situation.
Aku scoffs loudly.
Or maybe he was mad that you condemned him to die and just left you. Yeah, there's that too, possibly.
Oh my god, no!
We can talk about it over lunch. If you thought that yesterday was bad and this breakfast was awkward, imagine what this lunch is going to be like.
You know, like Telltale Games, Aku will remember.
Just like fucking hear from Hayden that like Rasha has saved Hayden, and Aku just like wakes up from being dead. You just see like the minus sim points above his head all the way to Rasha.
Oh, I just imagine like Aku right now with like the little angry like anime thing, like pulsing.
That Babaka left me for dead. Great. It's going to be so cheerful.
After a little bit of time, a small figure kind of pops in, and you see the kind of wearing a large overcoat and a hat. It says in a gruff voice, "What? What you wanted, Lorian?" Drops a box in front of you, filled with an assortment of clothes and disguise kits. You turn around and you see he's wearing like he's like a dwarf with a large handlebar moustache, kind of like a top hat underneath the thing. Very colory outfits. Vaguely reminiscent of a circus ringmaster. It's like, we'll need these back soon. Show's in a couple of days.
On my word, you'll have them back by the end of tonight. I'll send the Gurgus over with it later on.
Not the one that vomited on me last time. But he looks at the various grunguses and they just each go, ribbit.
No, now boys, as we received him.
Right. Pops his hat to the rest of you. Morning. And toodles off. In the bag, there is a vast assortment of
I'm not gonna like this, am I?
costumes, handlebar moustaches, top hats, large, like, overgrown kind of aprons with weird patterns on them, colorful dresses. It's a lot. It's clearly a disguise or a costume kit from a Halloween shop or something similar.
Does anything in the box look magical, DM?
Nothing.
For fuck's sake.
We've just got a box of fancy dress.
Yeah.
What can I say? I deliver. You ask for disguises, and
Oh, cool! You've got those.
do they appear?
I love these things. And he picks up one of the fake handlebar moustaches.
How far is this in? Because maybe I could just dimension Doria straight there.
Maybe you use the hat and I can... Guys, or...
What about this mask? And he sort of like pulls a Phantom of the Opera mask. Does it hide your hideous disfigurement?
His expression kind of drops a bit.
Larry looks really excited, like he really wants him to try on.
Yeah. And he sounds kind of not enthused about.
You know, Hayden, I think the die scores are quite becoming, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, cool. And he's gonna toss the hat disguise over to Aku and grab a couple things from the disguise box and disappear into another room to go. That's something.
You may make a roll with your disguise kit.
You know that facial hair really suits you, so you should consider growing out one for yourself.
I would, but I can't.
I have proficiency in disguise kits, so
Yep.
how do I roll for? I always forget how to roll for kits.
It's basically a proficiency bonus plus, I think, Dex. I think it's adventuring Dex.
So my Dex modifier is +4, and my proficiency +5. So would I do D20 +9?
No, sorry, it's charisma
Oh, charisma. Ugh.
plus your proficiency. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Lorian looks as like, well, you know, I have a tonic for that if you were interested.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, but what if it turns me into a frog?
Oh, well, I have a tonic for that as well. The Grungus is like, mm-hmm.
Wait, Lorian, are your Grungus's former clients?
Why do you ask?
I just had this moment. What if all the Grunguses are just the good folk of Amon?
They're my extremely helpful, intelligent, and loyal companions. But if you are interested in growing a mustache, we definitely have some hair follicle simulating tonics.
Sorry, I just remembered that Aku can't actually attune to the half disguise, so
Yeah, I can't attune to items, so
Hayden will keep that.
I'm disabled, mate.
Instead, Hayden will rummage through the box and pick out a couple things and look at Aku and say, "Do you want me to help you?"
Aku looks like he really does not want to put this fancy dress on, but sighs and follows to wherever Hayden's gesturing to.
Cool. And Hayden will take like a bathroom or something like that. Apply a disguise, and I rolled an 8.
Okay. With the small amount of usable material, stuff that wouldn't immediately stand out, I'd say you do a pretty good job of kind of making it at a distance what Aku's kind of face looks like, and a bit of covering other than the more obvious objects with kind of fabric.
My plan with the disguise kit is I'll take some, I guess, like, not dye, but like I guess like hair balm that like probably has a tint to it, and like I'll try to like push Aku's hair back so it's like looks like it's like black, and so it's a different hair color, and I'll take some like foundation, I suppose, and like cover up the tattoos on his face and the neck scar, and yeah, that should hopefully disguise him enough.
Gotta hide his most distinguishing feature, the titty.
Don't say it. Oh.
Oh yeah, I suppose we should probably do that too.
Put the titty away.
I'm sorry, Aku. This box
unfree the
doesn't seem
nipple.
to. This box does not seem to contain any single-breasted jackets. So that's tough luck today.
Yeah, I still have the shirt from yesterday, the one that ripped. Maybe we can fit.
Hayden will remember that Aku threw the shirt back at Hayden, and it was probably not wearable.
The look to Barnes. I think I've seen you repairing rips and clothing before, right? You can.
I command things, of course.
He'll hold out the shirt to Barnes. Can you also make it like maybe like 2 sizes bigger? I
When
totally
did this
misordered.
happen? Don't tell me. I don't need to know. And he's gonna take it and leave
the shit.
Ribbit.
And he's just gonna look and be like, "Is this clean? I wonder." He's gonna prestidigitate it and just, make sure it's nice and clean. And yeah, I'll mend it. I don't think I can make it bigger though. So I I mean, it's fixed. It just probably doesn't button up the whole way, but maybe that's preferable if it's Aku wearing it.
Yep. Yeah.
Eloquent.
Well, next time you rip his shirt off, don't worry, I can fix it for you. And he's gonna hand it
that
to
wasn't-
Aku.
I,
Don't worry.
that wasn't me. I did that.
Perhaps if you like, I could grow you a little cape made out of leaves. Would you prefer that? You seem to be a man who enjoys life's freedoms a little more than most folk in cities.
Aku does not care what he's wearing whatsoever. He looks completely unbothered by all the time and care that Hayden has taken to cover his features. He just shrugs at Lorien.
Or what about this? And he pulls out a little red ball with like a slit in the back and goes, you know, to disguise your face.
Is Aku anywhere near Lorien when he's doing that?
If he's near the box, I guess. Lorraine's walked up to the box, I guess, where Hayden's probably putting stuff on him.
He's just gonna smack the red ball out of Lorien's hand. No.
I respect that.
Okay. So the rest of the group kind of putting on various disguises. So who's wearing the hat? Hayden.
Yeah.
Okay, and Aku's in a disguise. Saga's in a disguise?
I don't think we're disguising Zug, right? Or are you wearing the mustache?
Yeah.
Zug's still
Undoubtedly.
wanted, I guess.
Somewhat
So-
wanted.
Hayden has disguised himself using the hat disguise to look like a human.
Bayless.
No, not like Essex Bayless. He's disguised himself to look like a human. Maybe looks about 5 or 10 years older than Hayden. Dark, black hair, a little bit longer. He has his other eye. The disguise hat can do. And his clothes look more smart. Maybe a little bit like someone, a business person.
Askor and Zug, are you choosing to disguise yourself, and if so, how?
A mustache and an oversized jacket.
Wonderful. Askor.
Yes.
How are you choosing to disguise yourself, if at all?
Well, using the hat of disguise, of course.
We do have two, don't we?
Oh, you do have to. Fair enough. How are you describing yourself, Askor, as you walk? 6 nickels.
Probably just a medium experienced looking, kind of not mercenary, but like hired muscle.
Okay. Cool. So, is there anything you guys want to talk about to each other before you go to meet Russia?
No, but
Rasha.
Aww.
but Lorien says, you know, you guys have been seen with each other before, of course, looking quite different, but the number of people involved is the same. So I'll help us out by adding another body to our party, so we can't automatically be, you know, considered the same group of people. And you'll see like a bunch of the grunguses, like some of the bigger ones that are like bipedal frogs, jump on each other's shoulders, and he like puts a little jacket over them and like puts a scarf on top and then a hat on top of the scarf, and it's like 6 little grunguses like in a jacket with like a little hat on. It's just kind of like shuffling around.
Oh my god. I love him.
6 Gronguses in a coat.
And you know they're quite nimble. They can take quite a few hits, and it's a very good decoy in a pinch. We've done this before, buddy, haven't we?
You know, it's the sound of webbed feet slapping on the ground that really gets me whenever it shuffles anywhere.
You have
There
like
is a
little
distinct
shoes for 'em?
little wet pitter patter.
Now the coat probably is a bit longer, so it trails on the ground, so you just don't really see the feet. You just
God,
hear it.
love.
I guess before we set off, Aku is probably gonna say, well, if numbers are still a problem, I mean, I imagine that a huge gaggle of people would draw more attention than wanted. We could perhaps just, some of us walk ahead a pace. 5-10 minutes. I mean, Barnes and Hayden, it would make sense if you were to go first, so that Rasha knows he's talking to.
Yeah. We can do that.
Sure. Well,
Um,
I guess we'll see you there.
So, Barnes and Hayden, Asgore and Lorien. Zug and I will bring up the rear, I suppose.
You can go with Grungus, Aku. Actually, no. Grungus should go ahead. Grungus should go with Barnes and Hayden to keep them safe.
Right, the advance party, thank you. I feel much better for the Grungus' presence.
They've got your back.
Thanks, guys.
okay. With the group leaving to go to Six Nickels, only a couple of streets away, in that rough order, which I'll need to write down. I'll say you guys managed to get there with relatively little resistance, or you get a few odd looks. It's a group. Some of you would try differently, and
Am I recognized as a member of the Nice Boys? Like, how recognizable are we as a?
So, like, you're not super recognizable as a group. Like, there haven't been posters made. Most people weren't at the event. There are like vague descriptions, but I don't think word has got around what you all look like. So everybody's left, kind of us two, and then it's just Zug and Aku waiting alone in the Lorien shop. Is about to leave in a few minutes, I imagine.
So, before they leave the shop, Aku is kind of gonna lean up against the doorframe with his arms crossed. Zug, a word.
Oh, yes.
He kind of like just walks over to the table, grabs a piece of bread or whatever has been left, like cereal remnants, and just sort of puts it into Zug's hands and says, so, well, we've been friends for a while, Zug, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I know that you are, in a way, Asgore's ward. No, he is your ward. Fuck.
Employee.
What's the word? Employee.
Bodyguard.
Thank you. Bodyguard, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you work for Asgore in a sense. But I was concerned at Asgore's behavior last night. Were you?
I mean, yeah, he does tend to get a bit aggressive sometimes, I guess.
So, I'll get to the point. Currently, our goals align with Asgore's fairly nicely. Having said that, Asgore seems to have no thought or care or trust, as he's put it, for our lives.
I don't know if he does mean that. I'm sure he just likes to be quite, flamboyant, I guess. I'm sure he doesn't mean harm.
He kind of like grins a bit and he walks over to Zug and he kind of gets in Zug's personal space a bit and puts his hand on his shoulder in a pretty friendly way for Aku. I know that you like to see everyone's best side, Zug. I really think that you should start considering your own goals and your own life a little bit more carefully. Now, I mean, Rasha, Hayden, and I, we've stepped into danger right by your side. We've been there right next to you, healed you, fought with you. And where has Askel been? Cowering in the back, behind you.
I mean, he's not the strongest person, isn't he now?
I just think that your life is rather more valuable than Askel gives you credit for, and maybe even you consider. And really, I do care for you, Zug, as a friend. I would really hate to see anything bad happen to you. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Asgore is a very wealthy man. He's had everything he could possibly want since birth. And where have we come from? We've come from, well...
Well, here.
Yes, Zug. I'm aware. But I meant, in general, we come from not such a...
Oh, wealthy background, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what have you done for Askel? You've looked out for him, you've protected him. But what has Askel given you, aside from a few coins? I mean, if you think about it, what has Askel's type ever given to us? They let us do their dirty work and spit on us whilst we bleed and die for their goals. All I'm saying, Zug, is maybe you should think about who are actually your friends.
Objection, Mr. Speaker. I think that's M1 has seen the fastest growth of the G7 since the pandemic.
Order.
Order.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. What do you suggest that we do?
Oh, Zug, I'm not suggesting anything. You are perfectly free to do as you will. I just think that it's something to consider. It's maybe something to consider on a more general scale, whether you want to continue serving people like Askel and for the pocket change that they throw on the ground.
I mean,
for you.
Oh, I guess I probably should ask for a raise, yeah. You know, with inflation and all, it's not very much anymore, isn't it?
Is a raise worth your life? Fuck, I just nearly called you Askel.
I mean, no, obviously. I mean, it depends on the nature of the work and how much you're getting paid. That's why I always said security.
He gives a strange smile.
So it gives like a queasy Shrek smile back. Yeah. Well, you know, well, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't put me in harm's way. I mean, we're friends after all.
Are you?
Well, of course we are. We've been through so much. We're all friends, aren't we?
Well, I thought that Asgore and Hayden were friends until Asgore demanded that Hayden give him his other eye. And,
Well, that was quite a strong reaction, that is true. Perhaps a little bit of an overreaction. You only have
What?
2 eyes. And he was only down to 1. It's asking quite a lot, actually.
Aku's smile is looking even more strained as Zug does basic maths in his head.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see at all. That's quite horrible, actually. What do
Yes,
you
I'm
even do
glad
with an
you.
eye?
Yes, I'm glad you've just realized that Ascor asking for Hayden's final eye is really quite horrific.
Oh, what do you think he was going to do with the eye?
Look, Zug,
Yes.
I don't think any of us would have let that happen, but
Well, of course not. But like, I'm just wondering, like, why take someone's eye? There are far more useful things you can take.
you are your own person, Zug. And you are fully capable. Well, you are a very capable individual. And you certainly don't need Ascor to, well, donate to your coffers when they are already much larger than everything that he has given you since the entire time we've been together. I
You have
just
been quite-
think that you should consider where your allegiances lie. That's all. Because if the point comes where Ascor decides that one of us is no longer aligning up with his goals or intentions, then do you think that staying with Ascor would be the best choice of action for you? That's all I'm saying, Zug.
You're saying if he lost the election, we'd have to find someone else. Ah. True.
I think we both know that neither of us care for this election.
Well, speak for yourself. I think that Solfredo woman is quite impressive, actually. She said she was going to teach everyone magic. I've always wanted to be able to do magic.
Yes,
Well-
stupid Grungus.
She
The-
tried
the-
to kill
the-
innocent Zug.
the lone Grungus remaining.
But perhaps
Well,
you're not wrong.
you
Would
don't
Ascol be
need
better than Solfredo?
you don't need her to teach you magic, Zug.
You need me.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm quite capable of teaching you some magical abilities, especially if you are, in fact, a follower of, well, a religious man, let's say.
Really? And then he kind of shuffles around behind his back. Wait, give me 1 sec. What? And then he pulls out this like really dog-eared journal that like it looks quite nice on the front. Like the cover is like it's clearly Rosana. It's got like kind of whatever you'd call Rosana drow, high drow features. Yeah, Roman gave me this book, and I haven't run around really. I did read it, but I don't really understand it. You see, inside he said that well, it could teach me some things, but I just don't get it. And he kind of like flips open like a couple of pages, which he's clearly read through, hence why they're very dog-eared. And he kind of shows Aku, and it's a little kind of like really simple description on how to cast message. See, it's really complicated. It's a lot about channeling the mind, and I'm trying, but I just don't get it.
Well, it takes some practice. How about
Oh,
this is something that I could help you with in the future?
oh, really? Oh, thanks.
Perhaps now's not the time to be
Oh, no,
sending-
not now. Obviously, not now. But like next time we're back.
It would be my pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's amazing. And also, I'll talk to Ascol about getting a raise. Maybe I should form it. He kind of starts wondering, claps you on the back, then kind of starts wandering off, going, unions, and then supply chains, and business, and raises. kind of wanders forwards, catching up with the group.
As soon as Snug leaves, Aku just puts his head in his hands like he has the biggest migraine and walks out the shop.
Ribbit.
You know, I think people forget that what was the name of the woman who's in charge of the fae in charge of the brothel?
Veronica.
Oh, Veronica.
Yeah, she took one int point.
The precious few.
He
that
didn't
he
have
has.
any. now he's down even lower.
Pound of brain matter.
He really needs that back.
All right.
Oh, no.
So, as you guys make your way, that conversation flowing in some people's minds, we'll leave it there for the week as you reconnect with Rasha, presumably talk to Sylphrena next session, get a broader idea of what your goals and plans are, and yeah, hope you all had fun. Hope people enjoyed watching. I don't know if we have someone to raid, but thanks everybody.
Let's raid Even Blair Art. I've watched his stream a bunch of times and he's really cool. He does a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons artwork. He's an incredible artist. I aspire to draw as good as him one day. He's really cool. I hope you guys enjoy his stream. So
Thanks everyone, it's been fun.
Thanks,
Join the
everybody.
Discord if you enjoyed the stream.
Oh
We
yeah,
talk about
activate
D&D.
the Discord.
Talk to us about D&D.
bye.